Kia ora students, it is time to write our example. Remember that if you haven't done all the previous steps up until now, then you shouldn't be here. You need to write the example first. You need to write everything else first before you write the example. Right, so here we are, we're up to step 7, example. Here is our entire essay, and here is our paragraph, and here is the actual example. Now, the main thing that you must remember when you're writing your example is you've got to find words that are directly from the novel that actually prove your point. So remember, in this paragraph, my point or my topic sentence is Juno trusts Vima. So if that's your topic sentence, you've got to find some words in the in the novel that actually prove that she trusts Vima. So here you can see the fact that she's pouring it all out to Vima, telling her everything, it shows that she trusts her completely. Remember, if you think that you can do something a little bit more interesting than that, head on back to the slide that shows the full essay, and it shows the more advanced paragraph, and see how I've written the example sentence in there. Or if the advanced tutorials are ready, then you can go and watch my advanced tutorial on how to write a really thorough, really effective example. This is the most basic way to write an example, and there are a few more key things I just want to talk about. If you still feel like you're unsure and you're not quite sure how to go about it, then here are some hints. Otherwise, you're probably ready to write your example right now. So something that you must remember is you can't just put it in there without any other words wrapped around it. So the sentence couldn't go, poured it all out to Vima, because that doesn't make any sense. So you have to put your own words in front of it, or at the end of it, or both, to make it part of your own writing. Otherwise it's doing this thing that we call quote dumping, and we don't want any quote dumping. If you do that, you're going to be borderline getting a not achieved. You might scrape by with an achieved, but it's not a very good habit to get into. So make sure that you sort of wrap the quote in your own words, and then of course you've got to have those quotation marks. You can't just take words from the book and put them in your essay without quotation marks, because it looks like you're stealing the words, and that's what we call plagiarism. Might not be intentional on your part, it might be just that you're new to essay writing and it's an accident. But now that I've told you, now you know you've got to have those quotation marks to show that the words come directly from the book. Another really important thing to remember is those words might come from something that somebody has said in the book, or in the case of this quote right here, it might just come from something that Lois Lowry has written about someone. So she's writing about Juno when she writes this. Either way is absolutely fine, as long as it proves your point or your topic sentence. If it doesn't actually prove your point or your topic sentence, then it's not an example, it's just words on the page, and I'll just end up making you change it. So if you find something and you're not quite sure if it works, then you should come and check in with me. But hopefully you showed me your plan during the planning stages, and hopefully we got rid of any examples that don't actually work at that point. So right now you should have 3 examples that are really useful for you. Fingers crossed. So now it is definitely time to write your own example. Please don't losing my train of thought. Try, even if you and your neighbour are doing the same essay and you've got the same plan, challenge yourselves to see if you can find 2 different examples to use so that you are not talking about exactly the same thing in your paragraphs. If you can find 2 different examples, that's fantastic. It just means that you end up writing a bit more independently and more individually, and you aren't going to accidentally copy one another's work. So make sure that you write your example now before you go on to write your explanation.